have hip hop generations. All right.
Oh, we got two more actually.
No, we don't.
Did we go over the reparations one
Yeah,
already?
that was the first one when we started, right?
Oh, my bad. You know I'm sick.
You sick. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know I ain't feeling
Yeah, you're
good.
not
All
feeling
right.
too well, right?
All
Mentally.
right.
All right.
Yeah, all
Hip
right.
hop generations. And
Hip
really,
hop generations, my
I was
man.
having
All
a
right.
conversation with Shice, and we were talking about how, nowadays, or I wish I remembered the conversation that we had. We were talking about how the effects that hip hop had on society, whether it's cultural, whether it's, society as a whole, the effects that it had on the outwardly facing, community now versus the impact that it had before. I wish Shice could come on to kind of review this conversation that we had. What are your thoughts, Nike? What are your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I gotta go way back, man, because
Mm,
I'm an old head, I'm old school. I remember going to my cousin's house in New York, Angela and Regina,
mm.
and they live in Queens. They used to live in Queens, and that was the first time I ever heard the Sugar Hill Gang.
Wow.
I think I was like maybe 10, 11, 12, somewhere around in there. That shit changed my life.
Mm, mm-hmm,
You know
mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like
Right.
I had never before that. I was into like funk, Rick James,
True. That was all
Lakeside,
that was there. That's right.
all that kind of stuff. And then we was at a handball park. They played handball out there.
Right.
And the ball came on with the big radio and everything
Mm-hmm.
came in,
Raheem.
and I
Right.
heard that doom doom
Right.
doom doodle, and then he started rapping. I was
Mm.
like, "Yo, what is
Yeah.
that?"
Yeah.
Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
changed my whole. that
Right.
changed,
Yeah. Yeah. But also, Nike, think about back then, especially in our formidable years when we were coming up. We had different types of music that served different purposes. Now, one of the
right.
examples that I was talking about with Shice is that we had Public Enemy talking about Black Power and Malcolm X
Right.
and Reverend Farrakhan and Stop
Right.
the Violence. That was
Right.
on our forefront. That was in our minds. I remember being in parties, Terry, with DJing, and when
Yep.
somebody get ready to rumble, we like, yo, take that outside. Remember, we used to do that. Now we
Right.
would be in
Right. Yeah.
New and Choose or wherever
Yep.
we hung. Somebody start arguing and getting ready to run. We'll be like, yo, take that outside. We weren't trying to hear that for the most part.
Right.
Little later on down the line, like he said, now you have
Gangster rap
NWA.
came through. Yeah.
Exactly. It was this is my crew.
But I can't
This
front. I was rocking with that gangster rap
right,
when I was young.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because that's where my head was at that time. You know
Correct.
what I mean?
Right. Right. But think of the influence then. Think of the influence that music had on us and the way we acted. Think about LL. That was the example that I gave to Shice. LL came in with I Need Love. That slowed the whole thing down. Big Daddy Kane. They was the smooth operator. That
Yeah,
also
but then
made
he also had Jingling Baby too. You know what I mean?
he
So
did.
you know
Now,
what
now,
I
now
mean?
he had all that stuff,
Big
but
bro.
but having Big Daddy Kane and LL, it also made us relate to women a little differently, even at as it related to hip hop than just NWA and stuff. Dice, what's up, man?
What's good? What's good?
What's happening, man? I hope I didn't jack that conversation up too much.
What's
No,
up, big bro?
you were, you giving a timeline, but I always, want to be clear with people when we say that Public Enemy stage and all that. That was very short.
Mm,
That was a lot shorter than we really want to think about
Admit,
because
yeah.
you're talking about Run DMC, and then LL, and then right after that was the Chuck D's, KRS was the Rock Kims.
right.
Not too long after that was NWA.
Right.
So I'm gonna say, like when I was at the Spectrum, and North Philly, South Philly be wilding out, like what you were saying, Public Enemy and KRS One, all of them, like they turn the lights on
Right.
and be like, let's stop the violence, self-destruction mantra was out, and it was settled down.
Right.
Next summer, NWA comes straight out of Compton, Gangsta.
Came right back.
North Philly, South Philly forced the Spectrum down.
That's right.
So it didn't even last that long. That whole, we rocking the green, black, and red, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So,
but we did have a period where it
we
was
did.
about black
We did.
consciousness.
We definitely had a period. I just want to say,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
can't
we had
over
the Tribe Called
romanticize how
Quest,
long it was.
Jungle Brothers and all them.
Right.
Tribe
Right.
Called
Backpackers.
Quest. You know what I mean?
Yo,
The
see,
Backpackers,
you got to
yeah,
talk
right.
about maybe 86, maybe 87 to 89. By 90,
it changed.
it was
Right.
very, and I was in the service, so I'm looking at, you know, cats was coming from all over the country. NWA, Ice Cube,
That's right.
all of that was having a bigger impact.
Somebody's clicking up, right?
Right.
And then
But I mean,
KRS
you also
One,
had stuff
he
like
wasn't
My
doing the
Hoes and My
numbers
Lord,
NWA
you know what I
was
mean?
doing.
Right.
KRS One wasn't doing those numbers.
Right. They were starting to wane.
But you had stuff
True.
like De La Soul, The Tribe,
Right.
you know,
So
Jungle
you
Brothers.
did have a nice mix.
They
Right,
now
right,
they
yeah.
were there.
Who was just on, you know, they was hip hop. The
But-
Chuck D Black Empowerment, the NWA Gangsta. Again, that's a like this.
Right.
a
Right.
term.
And
But then let's go forward. Today, I was telling Stacey, like, yo, these cats don't even call it hip hop.
right.
Like younger cats, they'll be like, you know, back when Gucci Mane was out, they'd be like, we trap, this trap music.
Trap music. I couldn't.
And then you will hear rappers say, I'm not a rapper, I'm a trapper.
Wow.
They was moving away from even calling hip hop. In the day, they calling it drill music in Chicago,
I heard
Brooklyn, and even Philly kids are doing it.
Right.
That's
Where
when
they
I
just
really
chanting
stopped
and
messing with really hip hop, man. I don't even listen to a lot of that. Like, only ones that I probably listen to now, well, is the old heads like Jay,
Right.
you know what I mean, Buster,
Right.
and all them. And,
They from a different era.
but if we talking
like
hip hop
J. Cole,
generation,
J. Cole and you know, what's the other boy?
Kendrick.
Kendrick
Kendrick,
Lamar.
yeah, you know
Right.
what I mean? Yeah, like I can listen to
But-
them, but a lot of that other stuff, that mumble rap, remember they
Yeah.
and all that, I can't.
But if we talking about hip hop generation, how the culture reflects and affects, you got to pay attention to. Look at Philly numbers. We passed Chicago. We was like, yo, Chicago got 500 bodies, and they doing this drill music where they all in the video talking about they ops and naming who they kill or who they going to kill. Now Philly's doing it, and
Philly said,
Brooklyn is
"Hold my
doing that,
beer."
and we got 600 bodies now.
Right. Yeah.
We got close to 600 bodies watching how the hip hop generation is being affected and reflected their times.
Music. Yeah.
But
yeah.
see,
yeah,
that's
you're right.
that's part of the machine, though. See, because what do you see when you see rappers now? A majority of rappers now, they got the big dookie chains on, diamonds everywhere, driving Bentleys, this and that, and this and that. So that's further incentive for people. I think that makes younger kids have what they call.
I mean, inspired to that stuff.
Self-esteem issues,
Right.
because
I got it.
they chasing bags to try to be like them.
But I think that but
That was Rakim.
but
Rakim
listen to this
was
though.
dressing like a drug dealer.
But I think, but I think
Yeah.
that part of that, or a large part of that, though, what you just mentioned, Nike, is as a result of where we are as a society. Society,
Right.
we are more violent and
Right.
less caring society. You know, we don't respect life as much as we did then, or the finality of it. You know, death. But not only that, I think that the young people now, you know, it's whatever goes. You know, the society changed. And I think that's kind of what Shikes is saying. The society, the music is also reflecting where society is.
Yeah.
You know, people are it's whatever now is taking bodies and all that other kind of stuff. So now it's also being reflected in the music.
It's
But
just
see, I
saying,
think there's
you
an
want to know what the
underlying
spirit
issue,
of
and
the.
it's not just the music.
It's not
There's
just the
an
music.
underlying.
It's a saying that says, if you want to know the spirit of the people,
To the music.
look at the music and the art they create.
Right.
Right.
So that we're not talking about everybody, but when
Right.
you're talking about where those young people are at, those specific young people that's volatile.
Mm.
Right.
Look at what the beat comes on, you put them in the studio, this is what's going to come out of them.
Right.
Because they rapping about what they see.
Right.
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 They
But that's
live
what
They
I'm saying.
rapping around
Right. They're
how they
living it.
living.
Right. Right.
So that's what I'm saying. There's an underlying issue, and it's not the music per se.
Now,
but
listen to this though.
it's the reasons that these
True.
kids are making that music. You
Right,
know what
but
I'm
listen
saying?
to this, though.
Because
So
that's
really-
how they're living.
So what it becomes is a self-fulfilling it becomes self-fulfilling because and I guess that's the case that was always the case with hip hop.
Always
Hip
been
hop
the
was
case.
reflecting hip hop reflected the streets, and then in turn the streets reflected what they were hearing. So it's like the chicken and the egg argument.
It's it's
Nah, I
it's
don't think
life
so.
imitating art, is or is art imitating life.
Exactly right.
That's
It's
what
both.
it is. It's art imitating life.
Well, but
Mm.
at the same time though, Knight, we can't also, like Terry Shai said, when NWA came out, we weren't acting the way they did on the West Coast. When they came out talking about Crips and
They were
Bloods,
talking about what they were living.
and then we
Right. But
started.
that didn't make us go out and shoot nobody.
But it
That
did.
didn't make,
It
when I
did.
listen
But
to
it did, Terry.
He just said that.
Terry, that's what I'm telling you. While I was in the service, it's where I started seeing people from other cities claiming Crip and Blood.
Exactly.
because that's what they was into in reality.
So the art.
get what I'm
No,
saying?
they didn't have Crips and Bloods in Arkansas. So they saw the music and heard the movie, and then somebody moved there.
That's right. That's right.
Somebody moved there,
That's right.
and then started that set. But it was easy for somebody to start that because it was popularized
That's right.
by NWA
Correct.
Right.
and by
I got you. I
you know,
got you.
seeing
Yes.
colors.
Cube
Right, I
said
got
that in
you.
one of the songs. He
Right.
said, now you even have drive-bys in, what did he say? Remember in St. Louis? That's what he was talking about. He was saying they didn't have that stuff there. They pumped the music there, and now the people are reflecting the music that they're hearing. Now they're having drive-bys in
Like,
places they didn't have.
let's go back a little bit, right? Or a lot. Before the crack hit, there was a struggle, right? In poverty. So you're talking 81 when the Grandmaster Flash made The Message. All you heard was struggle and poverty in that song. Like hip hop prior to that would just throw your hands in the air.
Right.
So somebody said, well, let's talk about something. And the first record talking about something, The Message, was
right.
just about struggle. It wasn't glorifying gangster life because you didn't have the crack or it didn't hit yet.
Right.
And as soon as the crack hit, and
Then you had
started
Coogee
living
Rap.
that gangster
Right.
life,
Then you had
hey,
Coogee
man,
Rap.
it was,
Right,
it was,
right.
it was what it was. You know what I mean?
Nice, nice.
So
right.
art again is reflecting life, and life is reflecting art.